Welcome to the Build Your Private Practice podcast, a space for Canadian therapists who want to support others, make an impact, and build a sustainable practice that works for them too. I'm your host, Liane Wood, a registered psychotherapist, group practice owner, and business mentor, and I'm here to help you build a private practice that allows you to keep doing the work you love without burning out. Because the people who need your help the most are counting on you, and you deserve a practice that supports you while you support them. Let's dive in.
This episode is brought to you by Jane, a practice management software and EMR that comes with something that can be hard to find: support that feels supportive. When you're choosing the right software for your practice, it's worth thinking about what support actually looks like. What happens when something goes wrong or when you're just trying to figure out a workflow? With Jane, you call them or email or chat, and a real person picks up even on Saturdays at no extra cost. For a lot of practitioners, that makes a big difference. Jane also has a growing library of guides and tips to help you learn at your own pace, and onboarding and import support, so switching is even simpler. Head to jane.app/explore to learn more. And when you're ready, use my code BYPP2MO for a 2-month grace period on your new account.
Welcome back to the Build Your Private Practice podcast, the place for Canadian mental health practitioners who want to build a private practice that supports their lives, not drains it. I'm your host, Liane Wood. It's late July as I'm recording this, which means a lot of you are staring at an August calendar that may have more white space than you'd like. And today I want to completely reframe what that white space actually is. Let me say the thing you're afraid to say out loud, because naming it takes some of its power away. August can be slow. Clients go on vacation, cancel for cottage weekends, pause for the summer, and your calendar can get holes in it. And if you're anything like most practice owners, those holes don't read as rest. They read as lost income, as a warning sign, as proof that something is wrong, and your brain does the math. Empty slot times 4 weeks and it spirals. And I want to be gentle here because that spiral is real and it isn't irrational. Income in private practice can be lumpy. The summer dip is genuinely uncomfortable. And if you've lived through a scary slow stretch before, your nervous system remembers it. So I'm not going to tell you to just think positive about empty slots. What I am going to do is give you something better to do with the anxiety than refresh your booking page, because the fastest way out of that spiral is to put the quiet time to work on something that actually pays you back. So here's the reframe, and I mean it literally, not as a nice thought. Those empty August slots are not lost income. They're prep time you will never get once September hits. August isn't the problem to survive before your real year starts. August is the runway. It's the stretch of open, quiet time that lets you build up enough speed to actually take off in the fall. And it's the only time of year you get it. Think about what a runway actually is. An airplane doesn't take off from a standstill. It needs a stretch of open ground to accelerate across before it can leave the ground. And your fall is the same. The lift you get in September doesn't come from nothing. It comes from the speed you build up beforehand. And every practice that has a great fall was quietly accelerating down the runway in the weeks ahead that nobody saw. The empty calendar isn't the plane failing to fly, it's the runway. It's supposed to look open. Because here's what you know is coming. September is a wall of demand in our field. The kids go back to school, routines snap back into place, and people who white knuckled it all through the summer suddenly have the bandwidth to deal with their mental health, and the inquiries come flooding in. September and October are, for most practices, the busiest intake months of the entire year. And the version of you that's slammed in September has zero time to prepare for September. The only person who can set September up for you is to the August you, sitting in that quiet calendar right now. And here's the trap that most practices fall into. They white knuckle through August feeling anxious, do nothing but wait for it to be over, and then September arrives and they're immediately underwater. reacting to inquiries instead of changing them into booked sessions. No systems, no margin, running on empty from day one of the busy season. The slow month and the overwhelming month are connected. An unused August is what makes September chaotic. A used August is what makes September the best quarter of your year. So instead of surviving August, I want to give you a handful of concrete moves to make with the runway. One at a time, no pressure to do all of them. Pick the one that makes you sit up a little. Move number one is to review your fees. Late summer before the fall rush is the single best time to take an honest look at what you charge. Are your fees where they need to be to sustain your practice and you? If you've been meaning to make a change, September's returning demand is the natural moment for it to take effect, and August is when you decide. Communicate it to your existing clients with care and update your paperwork. You do not want to be making that decision in a panic in the middle of October. Make it now, calmly, with the time to do it right. Move number two is to fix your front door. Go to your own website like you're a stranger in distress, finding it for the first time. Is it clear who you help? Can someone book or at least reach out to you in under 30 seconds? Is the information actually current? In August, you have the time to sit down and improve the words on that page. In September, every weak spot on your website is a person who bounced and booked with someone else. An hour on your site now pays off every single week in the fall. Move number three is to get your intake process ready to handle volume. When the September flood comes, the practice that turns those inquiries into clients aren't the ones scrambling. They're the ones with a system, a reply template that's ready to go, a clear path from first email to booked first session. If right now every inquiry is a bespoke from scratch effort, August is when you build the template and the steps so that future you can respond fast and well without it eating into your evenings. Move number four is to warm up your referral relationships. Everyone's a little slower in August, which makes it a surprisingly good time for a low key, no agenda hello, a short note to a referral source, a coffee with a colleague, nothing pushy, just staying on the radar of the people who sent you clients so that when September's demand hits and they're deciding who to refer to, you are the name that comes to mind. Relationships you warm up in August are the referrals you receive in the fall. Move number five is build a little content runway. If you've ever wanted to be more consistent with your emails or your posts but never had time, this is the time. Write 3 or 4 pieces right now while it's quiet and schedule them out. Future you, busy with a full caseload in October, will be so grateful that the marketing keeps running without you having to touch it. Consistency in the busy season is built in the quiet one. And move number six, and I mean this as much as any of the others, actually rest. Take some of that runway and use it to refill. The fall is genuinely demanding. If you go into September already depleted because you spent all of August anxious about empty slots, you'll burn out by November. Part of that runway is for arriving at the busy season steady and rested instead of frayed. Protecting a little real rest now is not slacking, it's maintenance on the most important instrument in your practice, which is you. And if you want a bonus one, here's move seven. Look backward before you look forward. Pull up the last 12 months. Which clients lit you up? Which referral sources actually sent people your way? And what kind of work do you want more of? And what do you want less of going into the fall? You almost never get quiet enough headspace to ask those questions during the year. And August is when the answers are actually available. And they'll quietly shape every other move on this list because now you know who you're building the fall around. And if part of you still feels guilty about spending a slow week on behind the scenes work instead of billable hours, I want to give you permission. This is billable work. It just gets paid later. The hour you spend now fixing your website gets paid back every week of the fall in clients who didn't bounce. The template you build gets paid back in the evenings you don't lose in September. Runway work always looks unpaid in the moment and turns out to be the highest paid work you did all year. Do you see the shift? None of these things you can do when you're full. The only possible right now in the quiet, in exactly the white space that's making you anxious. The lull isn't a hole in your year, it's the workshop time that makes the rest of your year work. The most successful practice owners I know don't dread August, they guard it. They know the calm, unglamorous work they do in the slow weeks is what makes the busy weeks profitable and sane instead of chaotic and overwhelming. So here's one thing for you to do this week. Don't try to do all six. Just look at the list: fees, website, intake, referrals, content, rest, and a look back at your ear, and pick the one that would make the biggest difference to September you. Block 90 minutes for it this week. Put it on the calendar, right in one of those empty slots you were worried about. That's the whole reframe in action. Taking the space that felt like a problem and spending it on the thing that sets your entire fall up to win. And here's a September date that I want on your calendar before we go, because it's exactly the kind of thing Runway is for. This year, Build Your Private Practice turns 10, and we are celebrating on Friday, September 25th, in person in Toronto and live streamed online so you can be part of it from anywhere. Picture it. You've spent August getting ready, September is going beautifully because you prepared, and then you get to step into a room full of practitioners who did the same work you did. That's the plan. Mark Friday, September 25th now while you're looking at your fall calendar anyway. You will not want to miss this one. Thanks so much for spending part of your quiet week with me. Go pick your one move and then go enjoy a little of that August. I'll see you next Monday. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Build Your Private Practice podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a fellow Canadian therapist who needs this. And remember, the work you do matters. Keep showing up, keep holding space, and keep building a practice that works for you. If you're looking for practical tools or support to grow your practice with more clarity and confidence, head to buildyourprivatepractice.ca. There's lots waiting for you there. I'll see you next time.